I don't know how often you hear this, but I kind of miss my BlackBerry. Is that a...
I miss my BlackBerry as well, Matt. The company has gone through a massive transformation over the course of the last decade. 40-year-old company, it's always stood for security, trust, and innovation. That's what BlackBerry's always been about. And while the products and services that we provide today you can't hold them in the palm of your hand, those same values around security, trust, and innovation really kind of permeate themselves in the software and services that we deliver to the market.
Do you see the BlackBerry era, I guess the first era, as a more innocent time?
Well, I think so, because when you think about AI, the conversation you were talking about before, when you talk about data sovereignty, secure communications, the geopolitical landscape, I think the adversarial threat, the global landscape is so much more significant than it's been in the earlier days of the BlackBerry device.
Tell me so how BlackBerry, flirted with bankruptcy, I think, had a tough time.
Definitely hit some tough times.
Yeah. I also saw, the CEO of Ericsson was here as well, so you weren't the only one who got a bit squeezed out by the folks at Apple. You've been there for a couple of years. You weren't there at that moment. Tell me how you have thought about what BlackBerry needs to become and how this transformation has gone.
It's a great question, because we were so into so many different things, BlackBerry. As we were trying to recreate ourselves, we bought a number of different companies. We started a number of different projects. And I found the last 4 years, as we really kind of transformed to what we are now, really focus on a couple of things that we do really well, that we have competitive differentiation, and where we can contribute significantly to the market. And I think that focus is what's helped us reduce our cost structure. We divested unprofitable businesses, and it enabled us to come back to profitability, and we're back to generating cash, and we're back to investing in R&D for some of the solutions that we provide around the world.
Tell us what you do now exactly.
So BlackBerry, think about BlackBerry as two specific divisions. One is our QNX division, and the QNX division, probably most of the cars that are here at the WGS event are powered by a BlackBerry operating. Our real-time operating system powers the cars of 275 million cars around the world today. So that's one of our fastest growing businesses. More technology is going into the car. Reliance on safety certified real-time operating systems to make all that technology work is one division of BlackBerry. The other division is our secure communications. Secure communications, we provide 75% of our businesses with governments all around the world. We provide our technology to 18 out of the 20 G20 countries. 8 out of the 10 largest banks use our technology for mission-critical notifications and communications. So 2 divisions, our QNX operating system, powering the vehicle and powering the next generation of robotics, medical instrumentation, industrial automation, and our secure communications division, which is really protecting communications for governments and large enterprises around the world.
On the first one, that's the Internet of Things kind of aspect of it, right? This is where a lot of the things we use, our cars, our refrigerators, everything else is going to be tech will play a much bigger role. What do you mean by powering it exactly?
Powering, think of it, as your, Microsoft Outlook and the operating system powers your PC. Our operating system powers the car. So it used to be that the technology that went into car was very basic, kind of simple technology, infotainment. If you want to roll the window up or down. Now the technology is, if you want to use adaptive cruise control, if you want to have driver assist, if you want the automatic braking system to brake every single time, that's our technology. So it really is the underpinning of everything that goes in on the car. And we have a significant market share on the more advanced cars. So the more kind of advanced it gets and the more technology that's coming out, I think the better position we're going to be in the long term.
Who are your competitors in that space? Or was that a niche that was not really filled, and as you were thinking, well, we'll seed the phone, but to survive, we've got to find something that we can truly own?
Great question. Biggest competitor is open source Linux.
Okay.
And open source Linux in a market where compute power and safety, real-time safety is coming. Having open source software manage that is something that is probably not the best idea. So that's probably our biggest competitor right now. And the other is really just the migration of more technology. Qualcomm, NVIDIA, NXP, the more technology that's going, the more cores, the more compute power, the better, the more I think people are going to need products like QNX.
I mean, Internet of Things predates AI as, obviously AI's been around for 70 years, but Internet of Things predates AI as kind of a topic we've been talking about for a while. How is the kind of this AI tsunami affecting how we kind of drive our car, for example?
Totally. It's a great question. It's something we grapple with every day because we do want to harness the advantages and the benefits of AI and how we do things around the company. But when you're the operating system for 500 million lines of code in a car, where if something goes wrong, you can't blue screen going down 100 kilometers per hour. So we're very, very thoughtful about where we use AI. There are certain applications we're hesitant to use it in. But we do use it as a fundamental framework to improve our development velocity, improve our QA testing, our quality becomes significantly better. So I think there's pockets of our business where we leverage it heavily, but there's other pockets where we're very, very cautious because of the nature of what we do.
So like a lot of businesses, especially I spend a lot of time with the finance sector and how they are thinking about AI. And they are very willing to experiment with AI as it is a tool internally for their employees to, sort through data or provide better consumer feedback. But they're very cautious about deploying it externally, directly with clients. We're not seeing that. This sounds very similar here.
Very similar. We leverage it internally to improve productivity, efficiency, just make the work experience better. But we're very, very thoughtful and careful about, putting it into a car or using it to leverage our secure communications, which is, protecting a lot of communications for governments around the world. So we're cautious about it.
When do you think you will feel comfortable in sort of giving AI a little bit more control over the steering wheel without thinking that, it's going to hijack the car and drive it to Nicaragua or something? Yeah. And not let you out.
No, it's going to evolve. I think this is, for us, I think it's something we have to take in a very pragmatic and gradual phase. I think doing a revolution around the kinds of products that we provide, I think is probably not really a good idea for us. So I would say over the course of the next 3 to 5 years, we'll do more and more and more. But like I said, the framework and the kind of guardrails that we put around it, we're very careful about it.
Let me just continue down this path too. That path is toward agentic. It's one of these phrases everyone talks about, agentic AI. It's the latest thing. We've gone from generative to agentic. What's your BS reading on agentic right now as it applies to adoption by business?
Yeah. I think
0 being it's totally in play right now, 10 being total BS.
Yeah, I would say it's middle of the road. I would say it's 4 or 5 type of thing. I think certain industries are going to lend itself to lean in and heavy and go more and kind of be renegades around how you use that kind of technology. But I think there's a lot of different industries that are going to be super thoughtful about getting too far into that. So I think it's kind of middle of the road.
It sounds like what you're using is more kind of machine learning that we've had for a long time, and even predictive AI, not generative.
I think that's right.
Okay. You think it's true for a lot of technology companies, but they're not really willing to talk about it openly?
It's hard for me to say, but I do think I think people are getting a little more aggressive with it, and I think they're leaning into it and maybe not being as forthcoming as you think.
Let's talk about the other, your other core business, which sounds like it's more cybersecurity, right? It's to say it. What has made it possible for you to win so much government business? It's because you say you have 75%.
75% of that division comes from governments or from government business around the world.
Oh, I see. So you don't have 75% of the market share.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Has that been a conscious choice to try and get government contracts,
we've always been strong in the government. The BlackBerry devices, one of the, the finance industry and the government was the kind of fastest. So we always had, I think, a really good position in that. But then when we got out of the devices, we really repurposed our technology. So now a lot of the solutions that we provide, one of the fastest growing solutions is top secret grade encrypted technology for voice, data, and video. So this is the most sophisticated encryption technology that exists on the planet. This is so that when a government official, there's over 40 heads of state here, a number of the 40 heads of states that are at the WGS event are using this technology to communicate with their colleagues and people around the world. So that's an example of taking that advanced encryption technology, we put it into an application. It's now in a phone that's basically like an application. And it's one of the fastest growing businesses that we have in the company right now.
What is the, I was talking to the head of one of the huge cybersecurity firms based in Palo Alto, you can guess which one it is.
Yep.
And he was saying that AI is, the people who are figuring out how to use AI first are fraudsters, or people who are trying to break in, steal stuff. Has that been that's obviously, banks worry about this, companies that hold sensitive data.
Yep.
Government holds a lot of sensitive data.
Absolutely.
But they're also probably the most advanced at having these defenses. What do you think is our state of, how prepared are we for what AI is unleashing in terms of threats to data security?
Yeah, no, that's the whole threat, the global threat landscape, not only from cloud solutions to premise solutions, to now you have to deal with AI and how these adversaries, I think he's absolutely right, are using AI as a tool to actually be so much more sophisticated at breaking into different things. So, I think one of the offshoots of that is a couple of years ago, everything was going to the cloud. All of it was going to the hyperscalers were moving everything to the cloud. And as we've seen more and more kind of infiltrations, we're seeing more of our customers are now pulling back a little bit and saying, you know what, I want to have a local cloud, or I want to have an on-premise based solution.
That's the sovereign AI idea, right?
Whole sovereign AI, kind of aspect of it. So we're seeing as the more sophisticated it is, governments for sure are pulling back a little bit on how they thought about how their IT and their communication needs were going to evolve.
Where do you, I don't want you to, you might want to, but I don't want you to talk up one of your clients, but give me an example of a government that you think, not by name, but just what are the key characteristics of governments that are approaching this in a kind of innovative, smart way, and what barriers do you still see to kind of adoption of by governments of the new technologies?
One of the biggest barriers, a little bit about what you were talking about with QNX and Linux is like the biggest. One of the biggest, I would say, barriers to really implementing better controls is people, probably in this crowd, I wonder how many are using WhatsApp, Signal, or Telegram as a commercial messaging app for your core communications. Now, if you think that's safe and you think that's fully encrypted, I got to tell you. So that's an example where I've gone into government customers and we talk to them and they say, and they all pull out and they start WhatsApping each other. And I actually went to one customer and said, "What's your phone number?" He gave me his phone number. I had our engineer pull it up on the dark web and we showed every person he spoke to in the last 2 weeks, where he's been over the course of the last 2 weeks. You can pluck this information out immediately. And so really, the awareness of the threat that's out there.
Could you get the actual messages?
We did. We literally pulled it like.
But you got the actual text of the messages.
You can actually get the. Now you get the text, who they texted, when they texted, but not the actual content of it.
But I'm sure someone can do that.
With somebody, I'm sure that's going to be the next phase. So like that's an example of, people kind of, I think, having a better awareness of the threats that are out there, and that's our job, and that's what we do to try to protect it.
So it sounds like one of the barriers is just sort of lack of education. Do you still own a BlackBerry? Is there one that
I've got about 5 or 6 in a
one?
box in my closet right now. So I would still use it if I could, but it's all on 3G technology is the fastest wireless that you can get out of it.
Oh, okay.
So it's really not going to do me too good.
Okay. The company's now around a $2 billion market cap, right? So
about $2 billion market cap.
Was it at its peak? It must have been.
It's probably 15, 16 billion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So definitely, a transformation, but
you're profitable now.
We're profitable. We're generating cash. We have a really strong balance sheet, and we're investing in markets like Dubai, here in UAE. We're investing in Europe. One of our fastest growing markets is across the Southeast Asia, with a big 5-year deal that we did with the Malaysian government, where they're licensing our entire portfolio of technology throughout the government. So that's really where our investment is in go-to-market, and our investment is securing the world through our secure communications.
Do you? We live in a world of hyperscalers. Those used to be called GAFA. Now it's to put an N in there, obviously. Yeah. Account for the bulk of the growth in the stock market capitalization. Where is there space? You've kind of answered this question, but I wonder, do you think, one, that's a bad thing that you have sort of just these 7 dominant players, and where is there space for a mid-cap sort of tech companies, or even like a company like G42, which is very big here, but
I definitely think there's space for mid-cap, especially companies with a good brand, a good solid business model, and the top 7 that generate massive swings in the market, depending on what their earnings look like any given quarter. I don't know if that's the healthiest thing for the market, to be honest with you. So I think more companies that reinvent themselves, like we've tried to reinvent ourselves, get yourself into a place where you're growing, you're profitable, you're contributing real solutions to the markets, and I think that provides a long-term, better kind of stability for the market than 7 big giants dictating which way the Dow's going to go any given year.
So you've identified 2 the paths that you have taken on Internet of Things, the cars. And by the way, on the cars, do you have any Chinese clients?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the rise of China in this space, will do you think is not
going to be? The Chinese market is now realizing safety certified software is more of a requirement after they've had a couple of disaster safety issues over the course of the last 6 months. So that has quickly become one of our fastest growing markets around the world.
You're unusual as a non-Chinese tech firm to
absolutely.
Be. What enabled that, do you think?
Yeah, no, I think when the Chinese government, in that particular case, there was some accidents, high-profile accidents, where there was deaths of some software that went the wrong way and didn't have the level of integrity into the bottom. And I think next thing you know, we're talking to them about how we can support them.
Last question. You said 2 big things: cybersecurity, IoT. What's the next big thing that you see coming over the horizon?
Probably the next big thing for us is the operating system that we use to power 275 million cars around the world. We've now repurposing that technology to support the new Internet of Things. Robotics is probably the fastest growing segment of the business. Again, anytime there's a combination of compute and safety, you're going to find QNX. So robotics, medical instrumentation, if you're having open heart surgery, that robot has better be doing the right thing at the right time. That's an application for us. So we've got a great foundation with the automotive business, but the general embedded market and things like medical, like robotics and industrial automation is kind of, I think, the next frontier for us.
John, good to have you here. Thank you so much.
Matt, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really good. Thank you, guys.